everyone, and welcome to the studios here at Culpeper Media Network. My name is Jonathan Krawchuk, station manager, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to another episode of the Recreation Rundown. We have a great episode in store for you, and to start things off, I would welcome none other than Programs and Facilities Supervisor or Director, Ms. Tabitha Riley. Tabitha, what a pleasure to see you again.
Good to see you. Just a supervisor. I don't need to be the director.
Can you, Andrew said that maybe
Nope.
You're pretty adamant about that.
I like where I'm at.
Well, as we've become accustomed to on this program, we want to start out and talk about how things have been going, and as we progress through the timeline to what's coming up next. In our last episode, we were talking about a number of events that you had on the horizon. One of the ones that just passed, we were really excited for the brand new Halloween trick-or-treat. Your exasperated side tells a story. Share with me that story.
So we didn't get any treats for Halloween. Mother Nature played a trick on us. So it decided to rain all day on the 29th, which was our event date.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we did have to cancel the event for the safety of the participants, because we did not want people standing out in the rain for 45 minutes while we're waiting for everybody to show up and then to hunt for candy. Just wasn't going to be a good event. So we did decide to cancel. We are looking at possibly rescheduling either for this Christmas and do something, or we may just wait and do our Easter egg hunt. So plans are still in the works, because we do have a lot of things going on right now. A lot of things going on. So it may we'll make our Easter egg hunt a little more special, or we'll do something in between. So, but we'll let everybody know once we have those plans finalized.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure you were very disheartened, because we were beyond excited for that event.
I had a costume to wear.
Wait, what were you going to be?
I was going to be a woodland fairy.
Aw.
I had antlers and a cape and I didn't get
Did Samantha help you craft it up?
No, my mom did.
Oh, that's
My
even
mom
better.
got me the antlers. I actually sewed the cape myself.
For those of you not familiar, Samantha Whitesides was the host of Crafty Creations, and she's very much so that very, very crafty.
Yes,
she's
very
good.
much so. She can make anything out of anything.
So it's a shame, but I like the fact you're looking to either reschedule or beef up your next event.
Correct.
And I think it'll work out very well.
Yeah, we didn't want to take and push it to Saturday or Sunday, because there was already so many other events being hosted by so many other groups, the churches, the Evolve Center. There were so many we just didn't want. Parents already had plans to attend other stuff.
How dare you be courteous?
We try to be.
Stop that.
Not always. I am not quite an only child, but almost an only child, so I don't share well sometimes. But my mama did teach me better, so I try to be nice.
Well, we do have a couple more events we spoke about in our last program. There is still a lot going on class-wise.
Yes, there is.
When you were here last, I think I may have sat back and just been amazed at the amount of classes, the diversity of offerings. I was quite taken aback by how much you had going on.
Yes.
And the list you have for us today is extensive as well.
Yes, it is.
So if folks are watching and they're like, well, what kind of classes are they offering, John? Tabitha, would you like to share with some ones that are coming up?
Absolutely. I had to bring a cheat sheet again, though.
I understand completely. I have one too.
I can't quite memorize all the stuff that we've got going on. So we have drawing and painting classes for ages 6 to 10 and then 11 and up. So it's a great class for young and adults. Zumba, you got to stay healthy.
Yes.
So we've got yoga as well. Miss Samantha is going to be teaching a clay earring making class. We also have a quilted Christmas table runner for kids and teens. Drawing using a compass. So how to make different geometrical shapes and patterns using a compass. We've got a cooking class coming up. Cream puffs and chocolate eclairs. Yummy.
Come on.
Perfect, right in time for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Indeed.
And then also almond macarons. Miss Samantha is also teaching a holiday ornament workshop for ages 9 to 12 and then 13 and up. We also in December have Tai Chi, beginners karate, And the Eastern View High School FFA Club is actually teaching a holiday floral centerpiece class for me.
Interesting.
So they're going to provide all the flowers. They're going to show you how you arrange them, how to take care of them. And the club members, the students, are going to be the ones teaching the class.
Well, that's neat.
Right.
And as we all know, with the holidays coming up, you know,
Who doesn't want a holiday centerpiece?
hey, your food looks so much better with a beautiful centerpiece in the middle.
Exactly.
And if your food looks terrible, draw attention to the centerpiece.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a win-win situation.
Perfect.
Is that all ages?
That's, I want to say teens and up. So
Okay.
like 13 and up.
So 40?
Oh, absolutely. When it's up, it's from as long as you're still kicking and breathing.
Understood.
You can come to the class.
So again, if we want the complete listing of these classes and the availability to register for them or to get additional information, we primarily want to point folks in the direction of culpeperrecreation.com.
Correct. Once you go to culpeperrecreation.com, if you're on a desktop computer device, about in the middle of the page is going to be an icon that says activities. Click on that. That'll take you to our complete listing. If you're on a mobile device, you're going to have to scroll down until you see the icon for activities.
Okay. And if I need more information, I can always call the office at 727-3412. There's a magic number to speak with you, and that's
Number 5.
extension number 5. All right. So we, again, still more coming up. You have a large presence in the Culpeper Quarterly.
Correct.
And that's coming up sometime soon.
So the winter issue of the Culpeper Quarterly will be in mailboxes on January 7th. So I've got the current winter schedule planned. I am working on spring classes right now because I have to have those ready to go to print here, unfortunately, in like 2 or 3 weeks. And then I'm also planning and scheduling some summer camps already. So I am working all the way through next July right now.
Yeah, you've mentioned before that what happens now is way in the past, and what's happening 6 months from now is what you're working on right now.
Correct. Yeah.
Well,
So,
the Culpeper Quarterly is going to have a listing of all your activities.
So
things
the
to sign
Culpeper
up.
Quarterly is a publication that for those that don't know or just moved here, it's a publication the Board of Supervisors puts out 4 times a year. So winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter issue goes out January. And it is supposed to be mailed to every mailbox and post office box in the town and county of Culpeper.
Okay.
If people do not receive it, please let us know because we are paying to have it sent to your mailbox.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Please let us know.
Exactly. So either your address isn't on our list or the postal carrier may have accidentally misgiven it to you or whatever the case may be. We want to make sure you get it because there's a lot of good information. Granted, I'm biased. Parks and Rec is the best, but there's also the Culpeper Libraries in there. Culpeper 4-H and Extension Office has information in there. Kids Central has. There's a lot of good information in there.
There is.
So
And a key thing you said is if you are fairly new to the area, you
It's
may
a
not have
great
seen the latest
resource.
quarterly. It is
Yes.
fantastic. It is a great place to start learning more about your community.
And our section is a pull-out guide, so you can keep our section. Our section is a live here, play here recreation guide. Lots of activities. Like I said, winter schedule is planned. There are some classes that did not make print because I had some instructors that weren't sure of their availability. So I've got their stuff now, but it's not going to be in print. So yes, the guide itself is fabulous, but always follow up and double check our website because there's going to be some other classes. 99% of the time, there's classes that don't make print that will be online only.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's definitely a good idea. Okay, this is what's in the print. What else do they have? Because there's always something else.
Well, you know, I'm sitting here and we're talking about the upcoming courses. You mentioned earlier about planning for the spring and summer right now. And with the amount and diversity of offerings that Culpeper County Parks and Rec provides, I'm just curious, and please don't take this the wrong way. If there's something that's not on the list, like let's say I want to learn, and I know you've done it before, but it's not on this particular list. If I wanted to do origami, or I'm interested in learning origami, I mean, can I ask?
Absolutely.
Wait, really?
I am only one person. I can only come up with so many ideas. Yes, I've got a great brain, but I can only come up with so many ideas. I rely heavily on everybody else. So please send me your ideas. If you used to live in Illinois or in California and that Parks and Rec department did underwater basket weaving. That's my go-to fake program.
With it's fake?
There, you probably really could do it, but you'd have to have a scuba license, so you'd have to do a scuba class first, and then take a basket weaving class, and then combine the two. So
I like that. Sorry. I like how you're like, well, John, here's how you would do it.
anything's possible.
So
Give
if,
me enough time to plan, and we can get it done.
so if I had a suggestion, I would just give you a call. Or,
Shoot me an email, give me a call. I'm always looking for ideas.
well, what if I'm a scuba instructor? and I wa-
Please, definitely call me then, because
No.
I would like to employ you.
But really, if I'm assuming you're also looking for folks.
Absolutely, yes. I'm always looking for people to teach. So whether you've got your retired teacher, you're a retired cartographer, you like drawing maps, and you want to teach that and share it with people, by all means, you can either volunteer. We love our volunteers. Volunteers are fabulous, but it can be a paid position.
Okay.
So you're not going to make your mortgage payment with it. You're going to get a little bit of Christmas money. You're going to get a little bit extra money to go get an extra latte from your favorite coffee shop. You're not going to make a lot of money teaching for Parks and Rec, but it gives you a little bit of, gets you out, gets you socializing. You're sharing your knowledge and experience with other people, and you get to see their joy and their passion in getting that knowledge.
Yeah, it's amazing. We've been talking about passion, and obviously you have it. Culpeper Parks and Recreation has it, and it's becoming more and more evident of the individuals that work with you and you work with. That passion comes through, and being able to pass that along to somebody else is a unique opportunity.
And if anybody was ever interested in teaching a class or an introduction clinic on filmmaking, or how to do videos or anything like that, I'd definitely be interested.
I'll keep my ear to the ground. How about that? Well, Tabitha, we have a lot more to get to in this episode. It's not that I don't love you, but we have.
No, you've got a lot more.
We
yeah.
have so much coming up. In fact, there is a particularly large announcement.
Oh yes.
That I know that Andrew Hardy is excited to share
Which
with
is
us.
why I need more instructors. Because I need people to put in that announcement.
Did you just tease that
Yes,
for
I
the
did.
remainder of the program?
Yes, I did.
All right. Well, again, Tabitha, I really appreciate you coming in and sharing information with us. Again, if you folks
thank
want to
you.
rock out, if folks want to contact you, culpeperrecreation.com. Search on Facebook, Culpeper County Parks and Rec. And they can always give you a call at 727-3412, extension
5.
All right. Well, folks, there's still a lot more to come on this episode of the Recreation Rundown. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We are joined now by Charlie Tupitza, who is a board member and co-founder of the Spilman Disc Golf Club. First off, Charlie, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you having me in
My
here.
pleasure. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's not very often I get to have an individual to speak with one of my hobbies / passions / oh my gosh, why do I still do this when I'm so terrible at it? Fans in here.
That's great.
So
Join the club.
in fact, Spilman Disc Golf Club. So Charlie, for those of us who are not familiar with disc golf, what is it? I mean, we've heard about it. It's gaining a lot of momentum lately. But what is it?
Well, it's an opportunity to be outside with a bunch of friends, getting exercise by accident because you're walking around in the woods and you're bending over, picking your discs up. You're putting torque on your body by throwing. You're walking up and down through hills. So it's really a great opportunity for exercise, a great opportunity for people to do things with their family. We're seeing at the Spilman course a lot more families coming out there and couples out there doing things as an activity. So the disc golf is really like, if you think about a frisbee, if you see a frisbee, you see people throwing a frisbee around at the beach, or your history of that. It's a little bit more sophisticated in that we have a course set up like a regular golf course, where we have baskets set up. There'll be a basket where you throw the frisbee into, but there'll be tees set up like a regular golf course. And you play it like you do golf. There's par 3, par 4. Some courses have par 5s. Spilman only goes up to par 4, so there's only a couple really difficult holes at Spilman. And you're throwing different discs to get to the point. So typically you'll have a a shot where you throw off the tee, your first shot, then you'll have a shot somewhere in the middle of the course where you've landed, so you have an approach shot just like you would at golf. And then once you get close to the basket, you shift your disc type to a putter.
Yeah.
And then you try to putt that thing in and try to get under par. So, yeah.
A lot of similarities with golf.
Very similar.
And one of the things that I personally love, as you mentioned, it's basically golf has been spoken about numerous times as a good walk spoiled.
Yeah.
Disc golf is the complete opposite of that.
Yep.
It is a chance, as you mentioned, opportunity to hang out with friends and have a good time. Just about anyone can throw a frisbee.
Yep.
And you don't need to be great at it to have fun with it. And that's one of the things I love about it.
Yeah, you're all going in the same direction. Some people pick the disc up a little bit more often than others. and the Spilman course is great because it's not really crowded. So you can get up there, you can just drop in almost any time. You don't have to have a tee time. You're not paying for the tee event at all, so that makes it really convenient.
Well, and since we're talking about Spilman Park, which the course I think is absolutely fantastic. But as someone I would classify you maybe as an avid disc golfer.
Very.
Okay. So
Play every day. I guess.
Well, that's fantastic. What makes Spilman Disc Golf Course as special as it is?
Well,
because you would have far more experience with that than I would. I could describe it, but
well, it was designed very well. The person that designed the course, John Briscoe, designs the course well so that there's a combination of long throws, disc throws that you have to go to the right, throws you have to go to the left, just like a regular course. They're designed to force you into different circumstances, and the county does a fantastic job maintaining it. I mean, I think of all the courses that I go to, and I travel around to a lot of courses, that course and their course that they have actually in Orange County are both mowed on a weekly basis, which makes it so much more pleasurable when you're playing, because you're not looking for your discs, right?
in the fairway.
And we have our group spends a significant amount of time in looking at the way the out of bounds, so that we have an activity in a couple weeks to go and do some cleanup out there, so that it makes it easier if you do go out of bounds to find your disc and play. So there's just a regular group of people playing out there that are looking out at the course. So, but it's kind of like the same design aspects of a regular disc golf course. You want to have different shapes so that a left-handed person doesn't have a benefit over a right-handed person. It's just kind of neutral. Although most courses are right-handed oriented. But
yeah. Well, and one of the there are so many questions I want to ask you, because obviously I have played. Again, I'm terrible at it, but I love it so very much. Another thing I like about disc golf is I currently have three. I have my distance, I have my mid-range, and I have my putter. Yeah. And it was the perfect opportunity for a low-cost entry, and I think that's a great appeal to it for first-timers.
it is.
And I think what's also great is the opportunity that Spilman Disc Golf Club has of saying, hey, new members, or even if you're interested, come join the club and learn more about not only the club, but disc golf in general. So do me a favor, tell us a little bit about the Disc Golf Club itself and how I can become a member.
Sure. So there's two places to get information about the club. There's Spilman DGC, or discgolfclub.org. It's a website that we have posted up, and that is really more of an educational thing. It's not like every day we have information on there. So you can go there and see videos. So I've gone out, I continuously go through different videos of training that I see online, and I snip out the beginning where people are just yabbering and just get to the educational part to it. So it's a great place for a resource to just get up there and see those videos so you can understand the techniques. I'm a real technique person.
Okay.
I've been I have world records in swimming, and so I've coached swimming. I've coached many different levels of swimming, and it's really about technique. So that you got a bunch of people going up there just throwing as hard as they can. You'll see the people that are really good, they just look really smooth. Just like in golf, the people that really look like they're trying hard, it's the people that just sweep through really quickly, right? And then there's a Facebook page as well. So we have regular meetups that we do there, and then there's other groups as well. Actually, my church has a men's small group that we meet weekly, and we play at different courses, and Spilman is one of the courses that we play on. There's other groups that meet out there as well. So finding out information about disc golf, just the techniques, go to the spilmandgc.org. If you want to find out about activities where we're doing meetups there, then the Facebook page. We are helping with a tournament that's happening in December. At this point, anytime you create it seems like anytime you create an event for disc golf now, it takes about 2 days or even 1 day, they get filled up. It's just so popular. Yeah. It's so popular. So I know that there's no opportunity to be in that particular event, but if you go to the website and fill in the form that we have and just ask what you want, like what are you looking for, we'll respond to you and engage with you and get you help, get you hooked up with other people to play different times during the week. I'm playing tonight with a number of people, so we play often.
Well, I love the fact that we've kind of touched on the fact of the ease of accessibility to get in there. And I think another thing, with the the meteoric rise of the popularity of disc golf over the past, say, year or so. Spilman Disc Golf, the course at Spilman is a beautiful course. The one that I first was introduced to. And then now we have the one at Rockwater Park.
Rockwater Park, yep.
And you mentioned the one in Orange.
Orange County is
It
great.
seems as though just fairly recently these courses have begun to pop up. And I think the availability to try a different set of courses in an immediate area
That's great.
is definitely helping the popularity.
Oh, it helps
here
an
locally.
awful lot, absolutely, because we not that we get too bored, but we do like to have change. I'm working with the county now to put longer tees in at Spilman. So like for the sixth hole, or for the second hole, I believe it's 200 feet now. We're going to make it a second tee of about 450 to 500 feet long to make it more challenging to people. So you come on out.
It may take a while for me to get back to that
but
back
we will
tee.
be making that course more challenging, and I'm delighted with the fact that they reach out because they have plans to make paths through there and some parking, and the county reached out to me to talk about where these new tees should be, and they're just very progressive about interacting with us to make sure that what they're doing aligns with what they're doing, and I'd love it. They're great.
You make a good point, and that was going to be my question. My final question as we wrap things up is the interaction, the partnership with Culpeper County Parks and Recreation. You kind of alluded to it right there, where you're working together. Is there maybe something else you want to mention regarding that partnership? Because obviously, in that singular statement that you just had, is pretty much the answer, but there's more to it.
Well, if you go to the course, you'll see that it is a beautiful course, very well lined out, and it's maintained well. They mow it every week. And anytime that we want to make some suggestions to them, they get right on it with different fixing up tees. If something needs to be done, they get right on it. And this whole idea of us really coordinating the efforts to expand the park for other people's use to make sure that we're not getting in each other's ways, that's really critical. I really love the fact that they're reaching out to us and doing that, and we're going to see some really neat things happening out there soon. So more things to make it more challenging. So you'll come out with maybe 5 discs instead of 3.
100% chance. 100% chance. Well, Charlie, I appreciate that. I appreciate what Spilman Disc Golf Club is trying to do. Again, Facebook, Spilman Disc Golf Club, or spilmandgc.org for more information on the website. I hope to see you out on the course. But more importantly, I thank you for coming in today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your passion with us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this episode of the Recreation Rundown. We are joined by another special guest. Can we please welcome Larry Ramsey to the set?
Hey.
Larry, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Great.
Doing all right. Thanks for coming in today.
Sure.
Now, one of the things that we're going to talk about today, there's a sport that I think people are aware of. It's called lacrosse.
Right? Some people.
You have some interest in lacrosse in the Culpeper area, correct?
I do.
All right. So, and you are, actually, I didn't ask you your title. Are you the president?
I'm the
of Culpeper?
president of Culpeper Lacrosse Association.
Fantastic. So do me a favor, Culpeper Lacrosse Association.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about the organization, how you guys get started, and what's your main mission?
So our mission is just to bring the sport of lacrosse to Culpeper and have the youth of our county have an opportunity to come out and play if they're interested. And if they're not interested, maybe come out and learn about it and gain some interest about the sport. The league has been in existence for approximately 15 years. I was not here then. I came into the league approximately 10 years ago, once it had been established, and they had a pretty good foundation and footprint here in our community. Mm-hmm. And I joined because my son had some interest when he was a young man. He was 5 years old, I think. Yeah. And I was talked into it by a friend of mine who was coaching, who played at Randolph-Macon. Lacrosse, I never played lacrosse, didn't know much about it, but my son took a like to it quickly, and my family kind of became enamored with it once we watched him play and learned about the process and kind of came to grow and enjoy the sport. And so we've been along ever since. Now all of my kids play.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
3 kids.
I do.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So, and you kind of alluded to it just then. We're talking about your, I'm assuming your oldest son.
So I have 2 daughters and a son.
Okay.
I have a daughter, and then the son's in the middle, and then a young one.
Okay. So you talked about getting your first exposure when your son came in, and as you're sitting there watching him enjoy himself and seeing more about lacrosse, other than your son's interest, what kind of drew you into lacrosse?
So it's very fast paced. There's a lot of aspects of other sports. It's a game that kind of encapsulates team sports, spacing, speed, skill set. You have to be able to throw, catch, kind of use a lot of principles that go into other team sports. And for me, it was a lot of new stuff. So that's always interesting when you're learning something new or seeing something new. That's always interesting. There's physical contact, but not so much physical contact that you feel bad for anybody. I guess not in most cases, but for the most part, it's it's a sport that has a lot going on. It's very fast paced. It's very high energy. There's not a lot of laws in the kind of the action. It's one of those sports that moves quickly and kind of keeps its pace throughout the game. So it was exciting and interesting.
I think that is a main driver for the rise in popularity of lacrosse over the years.
Yeah.
Obviously, Culpeper and its teams, including Culpeper Lacrosse, have had enormous success over the years, and the exposure to the community is really helping that, and continuing along and helping that success grow and grow.
Yeah, I agree. And then Parks and Rec has done some things with UVA's lacrosse program. I don't know if everyone was aware or not, but there was a huge tournament here over the summer, and those guys are planning to bring that back as well. I think there was, I don't know, I don't want to say a number, but it was a lot of teams here from all over the country, and the age groups were very diverse. And it was put on by UVA, which is awesome, in collaboration with Parks and Rec here in Culpeper, and that's a huge thing, and it gives some exposure to the sport and lets other people get kind of, inoculated into that environment and see what's going on.
Now, as we're filming this, here we are in the beginning of November. Obviously, I wouldn't say it's really lacrosse season unless it's indoors.
Right.
So if folks are interested, I know that you mentioned working with Culpeper Parks and Recreation. I'm sure there's more on the horizon with the partnership with Culpeper County Parks and Recreation. But when the time comes, if I want to expose myself, or maybe my daughter is interested in lacrosse, or maybe a nephew or whomever, where do I go? What do I do? When do signups start? When should I be looking on the lookout for lacrosse?
So lacrosse is a spring sport.
Okay.
We play typically starting in February, and we run all the way through about the end of the summer, usually until June. Our signups typically start occurring after Christmas. Around the first of the year, we start registration. Those registrations can be found in person, and we distribute all that information via our website, which is culpeperrelax.com. We have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter account. Those things are also under Culpeper Relax or Culpeper Lacrosse Association. Okay. We always try to advertise through Parks and Rec as well as our own site when we're doing in-person registration. In the past, we've done it at the library, at Dick's, at Buffalo Wild Wings, at just places in the community where we can get in front of people and they can fill them out by paper. There's also online registration forms. And again, all of those things happen typically right around, after the Christmas break, we kind of ramp up our registrations.
So, I mean, this is the perfect opportunity to let folks aware of what's coming down the pipeline.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to get your son or daughter a lacrosse stick for Christmas, opportunity to use it coming in the
Absolutely.
spring.
And if anyone has any questions about that kind of stuff, even if they're not a part of our league or they have never registered or played lacrosse before, email, go to the website. My name is Larry Ramsey. Again, you find me, send me an email, send me a message. I'd be happy to kind of give you some direction on what we're going to be looking for, what you can do to get started now, kind of the way we work, any of the stuff that you may need to kind of prepare yourself. If that's something you're interested in, we could help you along the way as well.
Well, when we're looking at registration and we're looking at the teams, what are the age ranges?
In Culpeper, we offer this experience to all kids from kindergarten up to 8th grade.
Really?
So yeah, anywhere in that range. Typically, once they get out of 8th grade, they go to the high schools, and we don't want to kind of take that crop from those guys. So, but the grade school and the middle school kids that are building their way up to hopefully making a high school team are the kids that we serve. So once they turn about 5 years old and get to school, we want to see them.
Okay, so I can go ahead, pink lacrosse stick.
That's right.
That's-
You got it.
That's what I need. All right, so again, you mentioned the social media aspects of how to reach out to you. I don't know if you want folks to contact you directly, because there have been known, whether they're at the grocery store, at the library, like, hey, I saw you on TV about lacrosse.
Listen.
Hey, I'm sure.
I love lacrosse. You can talk about lacrosse. I coach basketball as well. Talk to me about basketball. I don't care. If it's about youth sports, I'm willing to talk about it at the grocery store, on the street, whatever. It sounds good to me.
Well, I think people can obviously see the passion with which you carry yourself. And obviously, I know that passion continues on with your coaching career and working with the kids. With Culpeper Lacrosse, over the years, you obviously have worked with so many kids.
Yeah.
You know, I would assume that, you know, once you got into it with your child, the sport kind of took over with you.
It did.
And then, you know, you see these kids come by, and I'm assuming that you're hoping to give the same feeling your son had to these kids coming through the program.
Yeah, it's awesome. We see, as a matter of fact, my son played last year, and you go to the games, and the Eastern View team and the Culpeper team are mainly comprised of young people on the boys and girls side that have come through our program, that we've worked with, that we've, you know, kind of helped mentor and expose to lacrosse, some of them who have never played and are now having great success at the high school level, and even going on to play college lacrosse. So it's awesome. It's amazing.
It's wonderful. It's, you know, it's great to start them. It's great to start them young, not only to get skill in the sport, but also better involvement in the community.
Sure.
And as you know, and I'm aware, sports teaches you so much more than to be active.
Certainly, it's amazing. It helps you with learning how to fail and get back up and keep trying, overcoming rejection and obstacles. You know, it's built-in friends too. My kids talk about it all the time. You know, when you start playing sports at a young age, you have a built-in friend group.
Yeah.
And some of these things that are hard for kids to do and go out and express themselves is pretty easy with a group of people who you've been with every day for the last, you know, 3 months and have gone through some hardships with. So youth sports is an amazing thing, and it's awesome. It really leads to success for these guys as they get older.
I wholeheartely agree with you.
Yeah.
So as it stands right now, we have some time to check out culpeperlax.com.
You got it.
Find you on Facebook,
Yes.
find you on Twitter as well.
Absolutely.
And see if it's a right fit. I mean, obviously we can ask questions and get in contact with you. Registration is coming up at the beginning of next year, so we have some time to figure out exactly what we need, how it's going
got
to
it.
happen, and learn more about the program.
Absolutely. And we put a banner above Main Street with our registration information. We try to do as much as we can. And again, in the meantime, if you have questions or anything that would come to your mind, reach out to us and we'll be happy to help.
All right. Larry, again, thank you so much
Yes,
for your
sir.
time
Wonderful
today.
talking to you. Thanks for letting
and
me
you
come
as
in.
well. Hey, you know
Awesome.
what? Thanks for the work you do with our community. I
got it.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
Still more to come on this episode of the Recreation Rundown. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we wind down this episode of the Recreation Rundown, we welcome back a familiar face in the form of this gentleman sitting to my right, none other than the Director of Parks and Recreation. Young man, how are you?
Doing good. How you doing today, Johnny?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. So we've had a great program. We've spoken with some amazing guests. We've learned a lot about what has happened and what's going on in the near future for Culpeper County Parks and Recreation. But we wanted to finish off the show with a bang with you. Now, as we filmed this, you just had a monumental day in front of the Board of Supervisors. Do me a favor and share with us what happened this morning.
I mean, monumental is probably an understatement. More illuminating is the proper terminology for it. So the county Buildings and Grounds Committee, you know, before I get started, I have to really give a lot of appreciation to the chairman of the Building and Grounds Committee, Supervisor Jack Frazier, because he really was a huge advocate of this lighting project at the sports complex. And we just finished up with them approving $2 million to light 7 baseball, softball fields, 3 football fields, and 4 soccer fields up at the sports complex, which will begin construction this upcoming November.
That is quite amazing, monumental, illuminantal, if that's
Hey.
even a word. We're going to make it one for
That's
today.
right.
And one of the things during your presentation that I thought made a significant impact, not only to the public watching, but in my mind, was the revenue that is going to be able to be generated from this project. Can you give us a little bit of detail about that?
Yeah, I mean, sports tourism is a huge thing, you know, across the state, across the nation. And right now, with no lights at the complex, we're kind of restricted to when teams can come in and play. With lights, whether it's the fall, the summer, the spring, it's going to make us a lot more marketable to colleges, travel teams, AAU programs, and a variety of institutions that want to use the complex to play. With these teams, when they come, they're bringing dollars with them, whether they're staying in hotels, eating at restaurants, shopping at our stores. And that's what Parks and Rec really is now. We are more of a point within the entire economy. You know, we're more than just gym shorts and whistleblowers. We're helping fuel the economy, and an amenity like this is going to do it perfectly.
The progress is amazing for the sports complex and Culpeper County Parks and Recreation as a whole. As we talk about this illumination project, it's coming in stages. It's a huge, massive development, not only for Parks and Rec, but Culpeper in general. But this is really only the beginning for the sports complex.
Right.
There is something else on the horizon. In fact, coming up very soon, that kind of is going to work perfectly with this. Talk to us a little about what you have coming up.
If people really could have looked forward about where Parks and Rec is right now, they probably wouldn't believe it. With the light project, again, you're right, that's going to start in November. It's going to be in 2 phases, with softball and baseball kicking off first. Then the summer, we're going to shift to football and the soccer fields. But running parallel to that project is going to be the creation and the construction, I guess, of the Culpeper County Fieldhouse. And on November 17th, which is a Wednesday at 10:30, up on the property, we're going to be doing the groundbreaking. You know, we're inviting the entire public out to it. We're going to try to show off the site of where it's going to be at. And it's really going to kick off that recreation movement that we're going to have going forward over this next year and a half.
Now, I don't want to go into too much detail in this particular program because, as I said, we're getting ready to run out of time. But I would very much welcome the opportunity to speak with yourself, maybe a few other individuals. Maybe you'll have us. Can we come to the groundbreaking? Is that okay?
I tell you, we're going to get you out there on that date. We're going to dress it up, get a nice rendering of it, set that up behind. But also what's going to be really cool, Johnny, and I haven't dropped this with you yet, I'd love to start doing monthly updates. That Tabitha and us, we've got a whole email database of all of our users that have done programs and activities. I'd love to take those videos with the updates and email it out to everyone so they can follow our progress just right from their home.
We would be more than happy to be a part of that. And in fact, I know the public, I'm extremely excited for what's about to come. Obviously, I've played at those fields. My daughter has played at those fields and will continue to play at those fields for years to come. And this is something that folks in the community have wanted so very badly. And here it is in fruition and just still building upon the foundation laid earlier. And I think Culpeper County Parks and Rec and you, Andrew, are doing a fantastic job.
Well, and again, I say it each time we come on the show. It's not about me. Our department is doing an outstanding job from the programs in. Joe Kuntz and his team at Park Services is doing great. But a lot of the credit truly is going to the Board of Supervisors. You know, Chairman Gary Deal, he's a huge advocate for Parks and Rec. But all of them are. You know, there has not been a project that we haven't presented that people have seen, specifically the board, as a quality of life improvement. So, I mean, our department can't thank them enough for their support.
Well, I thank you for what you're doing, and I thank the Board of Supervisors. It's nice to see a project like this come to fruition with the help of the entirety of the community. And I think that's exactly what's happening right now.
Yep.
Well, Andrew, I am very much looking forward to the development of these projects, and we will be there with you every step of the way if we can.
I appreciate it, Johnny. We welcome you.
Again, thank you for your time.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Recreation Rundown. It has been another fantastic episode. So make sure you stay tuned and see all that is coming from Culpeper County Parks and Recreation for the betterment of our community. Until we see you on top of the mound at the sports complex, you have yourselves a great day and, of course, a better tomorrow.